Hello, everybody. I'm Amy with Good Little Home, and I hope to inspire you all to create a home that you love, one little project at a time. So, if you've never been here before, I want you to come on in, come on in, come on in. We're just going to sit around the craft table and we're going to make a couple of really cute things today. So, I made my Christmas tree, which I'm going to show you here a couple of weeks ago, and I've had several requests for a tutorial on how I did this. And it really wasn't hard. So let's get started. This is the part where we hold our breath, where Amy starts playing with technology, and yeah, it could work, might not. Let's see. Yay, it worked. Okay, so as I said, let's get started. Um, First thing is share, please. Give me hearts, by the way. I like to see hearts floating on that screen when I'm working. It makes me feel loved. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need is a piece of black chalkboard. And I got this at Home Depot. Had them cut it into thirds. And then I cut it again to get this size. But for today, I'm going to leave it long because I want to show you several different things that you can make with just this one cutout. So the first caveat here is I did my cutouts with a Cricut. If you don't have a Cricut, please don't run away thinking you can't do this craft because you absolutely can't. So this is my tree, and I just cut it out of a Cricut with a Cricut. If you don't have a Cricut, you can just trace a tree and use a utility knife to cut it. If you do have a Cricut, I will link you to the file where I bought this tree. I did buy this SVG, and because of licensing agreements and things like that, I can't just give it to you. But I think it was only $3. So I'll give you the link to where I bought the tree. So with those things out of the way, let's get started. You're going to take your tree and you're going to center it as much as you can on your transfer. And I am using the new plaid transfer from a maker studio, and I will link this for you as well so you can know where to buy it. So I have my tree on there, and y'all are gonna laugh when you see how easy this is. And I'm just gonna burnish it down. Make sure you get all the edges. Make sure there's no bubbles. All the same things, just like when you're doing a regular stencil. Only this time we have a tree underneath of our stencil. I want to make particularly sure that I get these edges because I don't want any of my chalk paste sliding under them. And you guys, I did try this just because with trees that they sell at Dollar Tree, because they're pretty thin, and I thought it would work, but it didn't. It is as thin as it is. It's not as thin as a piece of cardstock, which is what I cut these on, and so it just didn't work for me, unfortunately. So don't try that because it won't work. Let me just tell you, I already did it. Okay, so now I'm going to take my Maker Studio, and this color is called Together Forever. And by the way, as my life would have it, because this is how my life is, we're having our house painted. And up until 5 minutes ago, everything was quiet here in my little workroom. And now the guy is working right outside my window. So there's a good possibility that you're going to hear some bumps and banging while I'm working. And you might hear the dog barking because my big brave dog is afraid of him. Every time she sees him, she barks. So I just had a piece of lint under there that I saw. Make stuff like that makes me nuts. All right, so I have opened my chalk paste, and you know this paste is usually a good consistency when you open it. You don't have to add water. You can if it feels a little bit too thick to you, but I think that it's probably a good consistency just like it is. Now, there's a couple little tricks to this. The first thing is when you're using with a tree, don't come this way with your scraper because that's going to encourage the ink to get under there. So start in the middle of the tree and work your way out, just like so. And as always, I'm getting more of it on me than I'm getting on my project. But, there's a reason I tell you all the time that I'm a messy crafter because it's the truth. All right. Then I'm going to pull the other direction across this way. Just make sure you get it all covered. Okay, and now I'm just going to start it just like a regular stencil. And I'm not going to worry too much about going off the edges because I can clean it up with a sponge. I'll try not to, but like I said, if I do, it's not that big a deal on this particular project. Sometimes it is, but for this one, it's not. I am all about going off the thing. So I see that I have done it in several places. But like I said, on this particular project, it's not a big deal. All righty. Gonna take and scrape off my excess to put back in my jar. And with my very green fingers, I'm going to try not to touch this, but, and just like that, there you go. So that is project number one that you can make with this. Project number two that you can make is, hang on one second, I have to undo my green fingers because I really can't show you project number two with green fingers. And that is why I like to wear my Maker Studio apron. I can wipe my hands on it, dry my hands on it. All right, so that's project number one. Then I'm just going to take my tree and I'm going to pull it off of here carefully. Oh, shoot, I tore it just a little bit. But there's project number two. You can take this tree with your plaid pattern and put it on something else. So, quick little project number two is already done for you just because you did project number one. And now I'm going to wipe off my board. I got green all over it just a minute ago. And for the next one, I'm going to change to a different stencil only because I can't really run and wash this one to use it again. But, woo, crash, boom, bang. I'm sorry. How I roll, crash, boom, bang. I didn't even think about this until just now when I started to do it, that I needed probably a clean transfer for the next project. So I'm going to use the buffalo plaid on this one. Brand new, never opened it before, buffalo plaid stencil, just for you. And That board is looking to me like maybe I need to do a better job of cleaning it before we go on. Oh, hang on, I'm just gonna do that. And as always, when I get halfway done with these projects, I realize that there's, 20 other things I needed and I don't have like a cloth. Okay. Well, that one's all nice and clean. Now, while I'm doing this, I'll show you how easy it is to clean up these edges on the first one. Um, I'm going to turn it just a little bit. See how I got a big smudge there that doesn't belong on there? I'm just going to take my moistened fabric and just carefully wipe along this edge. If I get something that's really close, I'll do this. I'll use a Q-tip if I need to get really close to an edge like that. In this case, I really didn't, but just to show you how to clean that up, you can see that if you go off on this particular project, now there, like I said, there are some projects where it would be an issue if you go off the sides. But this one is not one of those projects. In fact, this is probably a really good project for somebody that is just starting to work with stencils. It's easy to do, and it's fun, and it turns out pretty. Okay, now if you're wondering about the middle part on that one, it was just another small stencil, and it came out of this package, the milk and cookies. Also available at a maker studio. And again, I will link you to this. And I had it out. Now it's lost in my pile of junk. Anyway, we'll just grab a different one. Oh, there it is. All right, so this is the one that you saw on the sample. And I'm just going to take it and put it right in the middle of my Christmas tree. Burnish it down. And then I'm going to take some gold paste and go over it with my gold paste. And I apologize, but I got to pull my microphone cord across your camera to get my gold paste. Boom, bang. I told you that's how I roll. Okay. And this is so pretty. I love this gold paste. Isn't that pretty? It's ooh-ah every time I open this gold paste. All right. So it's not going to use very much. And again, it's not really critical if I go off the edges. I'm going to try not to. But you can see how simple this is. I just take my little spreader, go over the picture, and I'm just making sure that I got all of it. Just like that. Okay, so you can see now that once you know how to do the Christmas tree shape, you could do any shape. You can do stars, you can do bells, you can do Easter bunnies at Easter, you can do whatever you want, masking off these shapes and putting something on the middle of them. So, okay, on we go to the next one. So that's, like I said, that's project number one. This is project number two. And if you wanted, you could take this and use it on a greeting card, maybe go to the front. I don't know. I'm sure that some inspiration will hit you of what to do with this, but that's what I was thinking is I would use it on a greeting card. And if you wanted, you could even take the joy to the world and put that in the middle there. Wouldn't that be pretty? Okay. So project number one, project number two, and here we go. Let's roll with project number three. So this is the other half from where I cut out the tree, which is why you might want to, if you don't have a Cricut or a cutting machine, um, use a utility knife so that you can make the cuts and have this piece too, if you want to do this part. And if you have to cut something like from here to here, that's okay. Just put a piece of tape over it. We can live with it. We can live with it. Okay, so let me grab my other stencil that I just had out with you guys a minute ago. There it is. Okay, so this one, like I said, is the buffalo plaid. Also a very, very cute stencil. And I am just going to put this on top of here. Okay. And then I'm going to burnish this down. And I think you probably can see where we're going with this. This one is going to make just the tree instead of just the cutout. Okay. So I think I'm good with that. My edges are good. That's always the issue. And I'm going to get a clean dipper. Okay. Now, this time, we don't want to push the ink this way because that'll get up underneath our paper. It could. So we're going to come at it this way from the paper to the tree. Just the opposite of what we did on the other one. And just so you know, I can't see your comments, you guys. So if anyone is asking questions or commenting, as soon as I'm done with this, I will stick this onto a view where I can see your questions and comments. Right now, I can't see them. I need an assistant. Darn it. Where is that assistant of mine? I ordered one months ago. All right. Okay, you can see that I'm pushing this kind of hard. I feel like I'm getting some spots that are missing here on the screen. All right, I think that should do it. There you go. There is your buffalo plaid tree, the opposite of the other one. Now, when you're doing these, you might want to think about as you're placing them, where you're placing them, because you can see on this one, it went, we lost part of our tree off into the blackness because the square is black there. So just something to remember when you're putting them down. And my fingers are still green and they're turning everything green. So wouldn't this be cute though if we did the tree smaller and we did an oval around it with another thing? See, my mind just runs wild. So anyway, I think that would be really, really cute if we did that. So, but this is the basics of how to do these. And like I said, that one, I just should have thought about where I was going with this little black thing. But you know what? Let's fix that. Let's fix it. I'll dry this. All right, guys. This fix is like I've never done this before. So I have an idea what I want to do, so I'll try it. I'm game. All right, so I'm going to take my little tree cut out. I'm going to take my little Q-tip, dip it into my paste. I'm going to see if I can just draw a line there. And like I said, I might make it worse, I might make it better. There's no telling. Okay. Bring this guy down here. Clean up my mess. There we go. That's better. So see, you can fix it. Any kind of problem you come up with in your craft, you can fix it. So if you have problems when you're doing any of these, just shoot me a shoot me an email at amy@goodlittlehome.com and I will try to help you as quickly as I can. So I hope you've enjoyed this craft today. I'm going to go ahead and flip this around and see if there's any questions. So give me just a second because, it's that here we go. Here we go with Amy. Here we go with Amy and let's see if I can see. Okay, now I turned you off completely. I can't see anything. Okay, here we go. So it doesn't look like there's any questions. So I am going to go ahead and say goodbye for today. And I will be back again sometime this week with more Christmas projects because it is Christmas at Good Little Home, where we inspire you to create a beautiful home, one little project at a time. Bye now, and thanks for crafting with me today.